Hey kids, this is Aaron from the podcast That Wouldn't Die, and Kevin and I use Zencastr. You think you're better than us, that you're using something else? You're wrong. Zencastr's the place to be. Who are you to deny it?
It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code DIEHARD and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same experiences we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time for you to share your story.
Only a fool will give up a chance for a 30% discount.
I'm scared, Jake.
I've seen him too.
I thought I was the only one.
I need to see Dr. Carlson, please.
I'm sorry. There's no record of a Jacob Singer in our files.
What happened that night? They're coming after me.
Who is?
Welcome to the latest episode of the podcast That Wouldn't Die. I'm your host, Kevin. With me, as always, is Aaron.
Hello.
This week, we're discussing I don't know what it is, psychological thriller, horror. It's Jacob's Ladder with Tim Robbins and, I don't know, some other people are in this. Who's to say?
Some other people you might recognize.
That are actually, the shocking thing is if you watch this, number one, I recognized Eric LaSalle, who will always be Soul Glow. To me, was one of the soldiers.
Soul Glow? What's that?
Oh, I forgot. You've never seen Coming to America, the finest comedy.
I have never seen Coming to America, but I did know who Eric LaSalle was.
Well, because later he was on ER. That was his thing. Later.
On ER, 100%.
Correct. He was Soul Glow. He'll always be Soul Glow to me. And we'll talk about that. Next time you come and visit, I'm putting on Coming to Goddamn America because it is a treat.
You know,
it's a delight.
But you know, 80s doesn't stand up. That's like me telling people, "Oh, Highlander, you gotta watch it. It's the most amazing movie you've ever seen in your life." And then you watch it, and you're like, "Oh shit!" You're watching it with 80s eyeballs.
Perhaps
your 80s eyeballs are dried up.
Look, when people ask me what's my favorite 80s movie, I always say Raiders of the Lost Ark. Number one. When people ask me what's my favorite 80s comedy, it is Coming to America with a bullet. With a bullet! Anywho.
Dude, I just don't think 80s comedies are just going to stand up at all. I'm terrified.
By the way,
there was a time that I would have said Porky's is hysterical, and now I'm like, whoa.
Each week on the podcast That Wouldn't Die, we discuss guilty pleasures and forgotten classics of the horror and sci-fi genres with a comedic twist. Before I throw it to you, Aaron, I was thinking about this in the car. There is a movie that I guess is vaguely sci-fi from the 80s. I don't know if it's appropriate, though. It's called Zapped. Are you familiar with Zapped?
I am not.
It stars Scott Baio, Willie Ames, Heather Thomas from The Fall Guy. Yes. Scott Baio gets whacked on the head or something. No, excuse me. He's doing an experiment in his high school chemistry lab, and some shit blows up. And now he has like psychic powers, and he can like lift shit around, like he's Carrie, basically. But it's like kind of a whimsical.
But he
sex
didn't
comedy.
burn down the prom.
Didn't burn. At the end, he starts doing some Carrie ass shit, and he gets conked on the head, and he loses his powers. So it's a sex comedy.
There's a movie called Zapped. I just didn't know anything about it since I never saw it.
Well, now you know. If you liked Porky's, this is of that same vein. Because
when I was 13, I thought Porky's was shocking, and
it is shocking. It is shocking. We talked about
this.
It's
more shocking now.
100%. What's funny, and I'm sure we've talked about this before, Revenge of the Nerds, you can't find it anywhere. It's basically been, I used to have it on streaming. This goes back to what you're talking about. I used to have it on streaming, and now, boop,
That's what I mean.
Yep.
You bought it and they took it away.
I still
Where
have
your
the
money?
physical copy. And it's like one of those movies where I'm like, this
But
is
you bought it streaming and now they disappeared it. They wished it away into the cornfield. Is that what you're saying? I would demand a refund.
This is the thing, is like later, and this goes back to what you've always said, is basically you do not buy a digital copy. You basically buy a license for a digital copy, and they can yank it whenever they want.
It's like that. We're from Palm Springs, and any property owned by the tribes, you don't buy. You get like a 99-year lease. I forget what they have a special name for it in the Deso, but that's basically it. You're just long-term leasing this, and sometimes it's shorter than you think. Same with Audibles. I had things I paid for that I was like going to come back to. It was like a collection of stories, and then all of a sudden it was gone. I was like, what? I was going to buy $14 a month.
Right. Well, and that's kind of the gooch. And I guess nowadays they're being more explicit that you're not buying a digital copy anymore. Like they have to change the word.
Now. It says buy or rent. I don't know how explicit they're being.
Fair. But my point mentioning this is that Revenge of the Nerds has disappeared because even though I find it hilarious, it is problematic to say the least. If you haven't seen Revenge of the Nerds lately,
dude, I have not seen Revenge of the Nerds in 1,000 years, and it is. I remember. I can imagine it's problematic in 1,000 ways. A lot of racist, anti-gay, date rapery. Anything I missed? Date rape was a fun thing in the 80s.
Well, there's rape by deception. That's a thing where the guy's wearing a Darth Vader mask claiming to be the girl's boyfriend. And I'm laughing as I'm talking about this. And afterwards, right, it's hilarious. Afterwards, he pulls off the mask. And rather than being outraged, she's like, damn, are all nerds as good as you? That's the lesson we took away in 1983 from Revenge of the Nerds. So
rape by deception, just as fun as date rape.
Right.
So many good things.
So many good things.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it was so prevalent in every 80s. I mean, 16 Candles. Well,
right. Long Duck Dong. Absolutely.
Long Duck Dong. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing inappropriate about that.
Nothing. But that's, yes. Well, and I've said it before. I don't know if you go watch 16 Candles. I'm assuming that they didn't have sex. His unconscious girlfriend, but it's unclear. It's entirely possible. It's possible
because she was snuggly with him afterwards. After the haze of the drugging or alcohol was fading off, I was like, oof.
Well, because that's the thing. He was such a gentle yet vigorous lover that now she's on board. Post rape, she's in. Is basically what it is. It's a good message.
That's fun hijinks. That's not a mixed message at all. Just rape her till she finally likes it. That is the essence of every romance book I read in high school. Captive Bride. It's just, I mean, honest to God, it's Game of Thrones with the Dothraki, where they just rape you until you fall in love with them. Boom. What's wrong with that?
It's a good message for America's youth. No question.
Oh, they don't show that on the Hallmark.
They sadly no. I mean, go watch
a rapey kind of love. The new Hallmark.
is that Phil Collins song? We've got a rapey kind of
love. Perfect.
Go watch any Sean Connery James Bond movie, and there are multiple times where he's forcing himself on the poor victim, and she says, "Oh, by the end, it's "Oh, James." Right. It's the thing.
Yeah.
Roger Moore didn't do that. Roger Moore's like, I'm not doing that. 10 years earlier, Sean Connery's like, what? What's wrong with that? I think that's called flirting where I come from. Thank you.
This is just a day in the life. This is just how Scotland is.
To all of our Scottish listeners, we apologize in advance.
You
Uh,
can't apologize for Sean Connery.
he's a national
He's
treasure.
dead.
He
He's a
is.
national treasure.
Sweet Jesus. Anything else going on with you since we've had this 10-minute bird walk on rape and film?
I had 3 days off where I saw The Offspring, and they were amazing.
Okay.
And now they're headlining some festivals and stuff. Great, even if you only know a couple songs, like me. Just a great show. Amazing show, man. High energy. Everybody was dancing. Everybody's loving it. And then I proceeded to just decompose for 3 days. I did some minor chores, laundry, organize, but I finished rewatching Mad Men for the second time. And oh my god, I love Mad Men.
I'm kind of torn because it's obviously good. It's obviously well acted. It's just such a bummer most of the time. It is such a bummer. Go ahead.
It is because he has his descent. But there are certain characters who had a positive arc. I mean, I thought they wrapped it up very nicely at the end.
Who has a positive arc?
Pete Campbell gets back with his wife. He gets a job with Lear. They get back together and move to Wichita. Peggy gets together with the art director guy. Finally, someone who's her peer. And Don. You see what I'm saying? They wrapped it up nicely. And the end is ambiguous. 1 minute, he's happy-go-lucky. He's at some ashram up in Carmel. And all of a sudden, you see the old Coca-Cola song, I'd like to teach the world. I think the implication is because there's a girl in the original ad and the lady at the ashram has the same hairstyle. I was like, Don found himself and went the back and created the infamous Coca-Cola ad.
I still recall that thing where they're in like some kind of therapy circle. And the one dude, Brett Gelman from Stranger Things, he's in there talking about the refrigerator and how he feels
the light goes off. Oh my God.
Right.
That was the breakthrough. That was Don Draper's breakthrough because he's the only one who got up. For the first time, he actually showed empathy.
Well, but I think he saw himself in the other guy. That's how I took it. This guy was speaking for himself, but he was also speaking for Don Draper. That's how I took it. Like he realized that's how he feels. So,
dude,
that's how I took it.
I just felt it was positive. And poor old Betty died of cancer, but she was a crazy f***ed up bitch. So God bless. At least she was less f***ed up and had a clear head at the end. But she was a psycho.
She was rough. She was a stone cold fox though. January Jones is a foxy lady. That's all I'm going to say.
She always looked beautiful.
Hell yes.
But
and Joan's a fox. There were some foxes on the show.
Love Joan. Yeah. Joan had an interesting arc where she meets this great guy and realizes, I'm doing me. I don't need a man to pay all my stuff. I'm like,
right.
So whatever, she's happy with doing with whatever.
Good on her.
And Crazy Roger marries Draper's ex-mother-in-law.
Yes. That's right. Oh, sweet Jesus. He might have been my favorite character, Roger Sterling.
Oh, Roger Sterling is a charmer for sure.
Anyway, we're 35 minutes into the podcast. Why don't you give us
I hope y'all already saw Mad Men, but if not, that's the end.
Spoiler alert. Give us your 30-second synopsis of Jacob's Ladder, please.
So Jacob's Ladder is you're flashing between Vietnam and this guy who seems to be back from Vietnam, who is having these, I don't know, PTSD hallucinations. No one can seem to help him. It's happening all the time. He tries to get together with some of the boys from his battalion to try to sue the government to get some help, and every door is closed. And basically he finds someone gives him a quote about maybe his chiropractor gives him a quote, maybe the demons are really angels and you're just not like ready to see them as the angels. And then at that point he just kind of lets go, and then you realize he never left Vietnam.
This is literally this movie. When somebody was dead the whole time, like Sixth Sense, before the Sixth Sense, you called it a Jacob's Ladder scenario, is the way it was referred to. When somebody was dead the whole time, that's a Jacob's Ladder scenario. Because this movie, because that's the thing.
I had never heard that phrase.
It's.
I mean, I saw this movie at the theater when it came out.
I did too. 100 years, late 80s. Yeah. Tim Robbins, who's 6'5" easy. And
everybody is 6'5".
Yes. And every other actor, there was a funny thing where there's a scene with Jason Alexander from Seinfeld. I didn't even know he was in this. He is
oh my God, with more hair than you've ever seen in your life, and just 100%. As dickish.
He's at least a foot shorter than Tim Robbins. They had to put him on the stairs.
No, it looks like he was walking with Tyrion Lannister, holding hands.
It was Mickey Rooney. It was absolute Mickey Rooney. God damn it. No, but that's what's funny is that Jason Alexander, he was like a dramatic actor before he got on Seinfeld. Basically, remember he was in.
I remember him being in. Well, that's not a dramatic actor. He played asshole characters. Yes. I think there was a movie, like an independent film before Seinfeld, that he was in and played a more kind of likable character. He looks older here than Seinfeld. That's the weird thing. But he must be younger. He has more hair. He's definitely fatter.
Oh, yeah. Poor. Hey, we don't.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. It makes him look older.
That may be so. It's a sad situation. Now, you said you saw this in the theater. Have you seen it since?
No.
Me either.
No.
Me either. Yes,
I have not, because it's depressing as. And Tim Robbins. He's just like this happy guy. Even in Vietnam, he looks so innocent, like a tiny little sweet baby Jesus. So it's horrible that he's going through all this.
100%.
It's so upsetting. And he has a crazy ass girlfriend who is so not sympathetic.
Oh, I liked her, actually.
And then the chick who played his wife.
Yes.
She was in 1,000 things, because you don't know what's real and what's not real, because you're shifting constantly.
There are basically what you might consider as 3 different timelines. There's the Vietnam timeline. Right. There is the post-Vietnam with the girlfriend timeline. And then there's what we're supposed to think is the pre-Vietnam timeline with the wife and Macaulay Culkin as his son.
It cannot be, because this is how you know something is all a lie. It's an unreliable narrator, because he wakes up and tells his wife the dream about his girlfriend and how terrible she is.
He didn't say how terrible. He said she's got great thighs. Were his exact words.
But he says can you imagine how crazy she is? Yeah.
She was dynamite in the sack, evidently. He didn't like apparently. They say that.
Yeah, they do. But little tiny baby Macaulay Culkin, before he was famous, when he was just cute as a bug. This was like Uncle Buck, little
This is before Culkin. That. Like you said, this is before Home Alone. This is before Uncle Buck. He's uncredited in this. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, his dad
and his brother, when they were little teeny tiny babies, were just the cutest.
And now, Hideous Freaks.
Actually, it's his brother who's in Uncle Buck, isn't it?
No.
Is it him or his brother?
It was always Macaulay. Although if you watch Home Alone, you do see Kieran Culkin in there as well, playing like the cousin who wets the bed, basically, that he has to share a bed with that he wasn't happy about. So
and right now, Kieran is the preferred Culkin for me. If you ask, are you
Hey,
asking?
I'm asking, who's your preferred Culkin?
It's the Kieran Culkin because one, I don't like Home Alone. I mean, I think he was fine when he was a little kid. Stuff like this, he was adorable. He was a great little actor, but his brother's doing the heavy work now.
Well, I think Macaulay stepped away. He basically was like, you know,
Maybe,
I'm not
probably.
jamming on this. So he kind of stepped away. When he stepped away, Kieran kind of kept doing his thing. I mean, Kieran was acting for a long time before Succession occurred. He was hanging around.
Oh yeah, Scott Pilgrim friend.
So let's go right to the highlights, Aaron. Since we're 20 minutes in, what do you got?
Oh my God, it's so upsetting. I was like, oh shit. All that war stuff is so upsetting. So they're all just hanging out, making jokes.
Ving Rhames.
Ving Rhames. Like I said, it's all-star cast. He comes back from the jungle. Maybe he was jerking off. Maybe he was taking a crap. They're all joking with each other. And then all of a sudden the place just gets torn to bits. And I was like, oh no, there's nothing more upsetting than war movies for me. So I was like, I mean, horror movies do not bother me unless like there's kids or something, because it's not real. War is real.
War is real. 100%.
War is real. And so when Tim Robbins gets stabbed or bayoneted in the stomach,
yes,
it was horrible. And then the reveal at the end of what's going on, but how do we even know that that's real?
You don't really know. You never really know. Now you think, because what Danny Aiello said, his chiropractor, is basically like, when you die, if you are not ready to go, there are demons tearing your life apart, essentially. But the moment you accept it and get, have peace with it, then like you said, the devils are revealed to be angels, and then it's okay. Then you go on and go up the stairs.
Terrible. That is not a way to get people to relax and accept their death, by terrorizing them with no explanation.
I agree.
That is one of the most terrible things I've ever heard of.
I agree.
So basically, if his imaginary chiropractor hadn't have told him that, then he would just still be on an operating table somewhere in Vietnam, just being plagued and tortured.
Yes. I actually, I think that was for the benefit of the home audience. I think he had his own journey that he has to traverse over the course of this to get to that place where he's like, okay. And again, there's little Macaulay waiting for him on the stairs saying, come on, Dad, it'll be okay. Kind of hugs him. That was a sweet moment, actually. That was a sweet moment.
That was a beautiful moment. This is not a terrible movie. That was a beautiful moment, and he held his hand, and they ascended the ladder, one might say.
One might. And back in Vietnam, the surgeon basically says, yeah, call it, he's dead. But he really fought. He really fought to stay alive, basically.
Right. But he died with a smile on his face.
Peace. He had a peaceful expression on his
Yes.
face. They talked about how, I guess, the original script had a lot more kind of demon shit, where it's like traditional devils. You know what I mean? With like bat wings and cloven hooves and horns and shit. And the director, Adrian Lyne, who we haven't talked about yet, kind of veered away from that into more kind of really more disturbing imagery, where it's just like kind of creepy, like faces.
The weird shaking heads. Yes. They're the people who invented that. Every horror movie stole it from Jacob's Ladder.
Yes.
And it is a disturbing thing.
It is. Well,
Because the whole body is still, but the head's banging around.
Correct. And you don't really get a good look at any of this stuff. There's a scene where they're at the party where everybody's dancing, and it does look like his girlfriend Jezzy, is having sex with some dude on the dance floor. I was like,
who also has a tail or a giant wang,
or both. Unclear.
And
But it's like a strobe light.
Yes. I'm having a stroke already thinking about it. It was like faces look up. Things are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. It's like when he's on the subway car and he's talking to women, they're just staring at him with crazy faces. There's an old homeless dude who seems to have a tail. I mean, there was some stuff. I don't know how you. I don't know how you're going to I don't know how you're going to sleep in the car. That doesn't sound like the place.
You don't do that.
No,
that's bad. That's.
I fell asleep in the BART one time. I used my purse. I wrapped my hand around my purse. I used my purse for a pillow.
What? So you just did what you said you shouldn't do. You're a hypocrite.
Because it was the Bay Area in the '90s, so it seemed less scary.
Oh, sure. There's no crime in the Bay Area. Sweet Jesus.
Womp, 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 womp.
So there's the one timeline with the girlfriend, Jezzy.
Yes.
Which has anybody ever been named Jezebel, like as a given name? I know it's a biblical name, but wasn't she
sure it's real. I've never known a Jezebel, and I can't imagine you go by Jezzy. I wish I was Jezzy's girl.
100%.
No.
Well, and here's the thing. This director is the same director who did 9.5 Weeks. So if you are watching, there's a lot of kind of casual nudity at multiple times in this movie. Did you notice that?
No.
Yes.
Oh my God, did I have a stroke?
You must. It's all Jezzy.
I mean, I saw Tim Robbins' bottom, but that's about it.
You see his bottom, but you see Jezzy. So you see her with either her shirt kind of open or her robe kind of open, exposing her chest area. She jumps in the.
Don't even remember.
It's not Two Moon Junction, okay? It's not to that degree. But I
literally have not seen 9.5 Weeks or Two Moon Junction. But I am a woman, so I have seen breasts and pubic hair before.
Fair. I don't see as much as I like, evidently. This was about the time of kind of the erotic, sometimes thriller, but sometimes just, hey, I'm doing some erotic shit. That's what 9.5 Weeks is, right? A good girl meets a bad guy.
Listen to this podcast.
Please.
You must remember this. It did a whole series on the erotic 80s.
They're everywhere. Body Heat.
Talked about all that. The Postman Always Rings Twice. There were all these crazy remakes. Yeah.
Fatal Attraction. Well, it's where it's literally like, it's almost... So in some cases, all the way, kind of a Skinamax kind of deal, where it's like long, drawn out sex scenes. Now, this isn't that. There's not that in Jacob's Ladder, but there are moments where it's just kind of unmotivated nudity, specifically Jezzy. Jezzy's the one where she's just lounging around, where she hops in the shower with Tim Robbins and says, "Let's do this." He seemed fine. He seemed happy to be with Jezzy. What am I saying?
It's true. It's hard to say. All I can tell you is she seems great for a romp, but she is definitely not going to be there if you have any issues whatsoever.
She kind of said as much, right?
She's like, nah. I'm okay to have sex with you and live with you as long as there are no problems whatsoever.
Right. When you start hallucinating, I'm out of here. She did.
Like when you have a seizure at a frickin' party, I'm out.
she was embarrassed that he had a seizure in the middle of the party. Ha! You embarrassed me. I had a seizure. cut me some slack. Wasn't a choice. Anyway.
Now dig this, brother. Let's talk about
Please.
these timelines.
Let on
So, in one timeline, he works for the post office.
Mhm.
And he's with the dark-haired girl. Then we
Tanya.
see him, right. I'm not going to remember that name. Then we see him with other wife,
Yep.
and he mentions working at the post office. Then at the end, he's a doctor, and he's being dropped off at the mansion. But in the mansion, it's the bedroom with the wife with Macaulay Culkin.
Right.
And then I don't know what's happening.
I think, well, Danny Aiello, in the girlfriend timeline, he's like
Right.
getting a divorce, essentially. And they said one of the reasons why, because even though they're still in love, he and his wife, when he came back from the war, he like had like PhDs and shit or whatever, MDs. But now he's choosing not to pursue those fields anymore rather than...
He didn't come back from the war.
Right. Right. Yes. Unclear.
Unclear.
And yet he has a bad
But
back.
he did. And he has a bad back. Well, probably from getting stabbed and blowed
That'll
up.
do it. That'll do it.
So I'm guessing once he's accepted death, that's when he... First of all, why would he be a doctor with that crew?
Well, they called him the professor or something. I don't know if that was just because he wore glasses. Right?
So
'Cause you're right.
It could be that he was not an MD. Because why would he be out there with that squadron? He would be at an army hospital. They're not going to send you out to get blowed up if you're an MD.
Well, and I think if you have a college degree, you could become an officer if you were so inclined.
And I didn't look. He certainly... It's possible that he was the squadron commander.
I don't think so.
That's why they were. That's why they were razzing him. I thought.
I
Like
thought
he
they
was the
razzed him.
new.
He took a lot of shits, is what they were saying. They're like, "Are you taking another shit? Come on, bro. We're out in the jungle. Get it together."
I got the impression that like he was a new commander or a new whatever squadron leader.
He just
But
seemed
I
like
don't
one of the
think
guys.
he was a medical doctor. But he was rich. Because at
In
the end,
In that timeline, he was. I don't
but
know if
that's
that's
the
real or not.
timeline with the child who meets him and they go up to heaven together.
Well, and so here's this. So before Vietnam, he's got 3 kids. Macaulay
First of all,
Culkin.
he's got 3 kids. Why is he in Vietnam?
I don't know.
Unless
They
he
called his number.
volunteered.
That's-
No, there were things there were things that got you out of it.
Is that one of them? Maybe it was. I don't know. I know
I
you
don't
can
know.
defer.
Maybe I'm wrong. Like an only son,
Right, like the
stuff
Saving
like
Private
that.
Ryan thing.
I never saw this.
God damn it. How do we do a movie podcast? We were like, I ain't seen anything, by the way.
I once watched a war movie in the 90s. It came upon a midnight clear, and I had to just draw a line. I could never watch another. It was so upsetting to me. I could never watch another one.
I understand. I'm not opposed. I understand what you're saying. So we're really trying to analyze a lot of this shit, and I don't think they really thought about it. The makers of the film are not like getting this deep, right? But yeah,
I feel like there's a lot of people have discussed this film.
right. I mean, it's the Shyamalan twist at the end that makes this movie noteworthy.
Right.
Although there is a lot of demonic imagery in this that is kind of
It was
compelling.
new.
Right.
Yes.
100%. Now, when they're wheeling him around the demon hospital with just like limbs on the floor, it was a little like haunted housey, if you will. It
Yeah.
wasn't. It was like a fake old like rubber hand that they ran over with the with the gurney.
Blah,
Some of
blah.
that was
Blah,
some of
blah.
that was a little questionable. But again, it's at its best where you don't get a good long look at like the creepy face looking out the window, right? Don't give me a good long look.
Always better.
100%.
Don't show me the shark from Jaws. Let me see that fin.
That's all I need. Just
Don't
give
try
me
to
the goddamn
shove Robert Shaw in there and then have him roll around with the shark.
Please don't. Please don't. But this movie has a lot of shit going on that you realize doesn't really matter. Like they act like there's this government conspiracy. Like we don't know if any of that is true.
No, because he's in the hospital. He never left Vietnam. He got stabbed. They found him. They took him to the hospital and he died.
Right.
So everything that we see is just going on in his mind.
Right. Because the whole thing was there was a drug called the ladder that the government slipped into the food of US GIs to make them more aggressive. And the sad reality,
says the fever dream.
So says the fever dream. 100%. We don't see I don't think there's any evidence in the actual flashbacks to Vietnam that suggests that they turned on each other. Although
except the guy who stabs him is someone he knows.
How do you know that?
Because there's the look of recognition and you see the guy's face.
Shit. Okay.
He's not Vietnamese.
Well, what you do see before that is Ving Rhames is like having a seizure and foaming at the mouth. So there's something going on at the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
So is that some shit? I don't know. This movie, you don't know if it's anything. Yes.
You don't know. It's possible, like when you have a dream. Well, if he was in anesthesia, it's possible that doctors were talking about it, but how would they know unless they were part of it? Could they have been talking about this drug that was released and now it's in his dreamlike state? Or is it all bullshit? It's just all him struggling to stay alive and his brain is starving from oxygen.
Unclear. But I don't think it really matters. You know what I mean? Because it's all, like you said, it's all the fever dream. That if you accept the fever dream, which we know it is, then you can accept some inconsistency. Right?
Yes.
Some shit that doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Because it's all ridiculous.
Because nightmares don't make sense.
Right. 100%. 100%.
It's all a nightmare.
Right. So there's a lot, there's the government conspiracy shit going down. There's the, Jesse's a half demon. There's some demons in the fucking subway train. There's like the government is arresting people and it's a whole thing. Who knows what's happening? Anyway.
Right. Do
you have anything else for this one, Aaron?
I just put down, I think halfway through it, I'm like, oh, he's dead. Because I couldn't remember. And
really?
He just seemed like he's a happy guy.
Right. He seemed like somebody...
Which makes it sad.
Right. Why is this happening to him? Why is poor Tim Robbins...
Why is it happening to him? Yeah, so I don't know if I remembered halfway through, but when all this is going on, I was like, oh, he didn't leave Vietnam.
Right. 100%. That's the Shyamalan twist at the end.
Right.
Shall we go behind the scenes?
Let's pull back the curtain, shall we?
All SFX were filmed live with no post-production. So there were no special effects used in this movie. It was all practical.
Okay. I was like, they had to do something with the shaking heads, man. That wasn't just live. Shake it faster.
That's the famous shaking head effect. They simply filmed the actor waving his head around, keeping his shoulder and the rest of his body still at a faster frame rate. Or a slower frame rate. I don't know, whichever it is. So that it looks crazy and
yes. It's terrifying.
Again, no special effects other than that. Certain imagery was inspired by the photographs of Joel Peter Witkin. Are you familiar with his work?
No, but I'm going to write that down. Anyone who has 3 names is trouble.
Joel-Peter Witkin. Most recognizably, the image of the hooded, legless man shaking his head was inspired by Witkin's 1976 photograph, Man with No Legs. How about that?
How about that?
Let's see. According to director Adrian Lyne, the drug aspect of the story was inspired by Martin A. Lee and Bruce Schlane's book Acid Dreams, the CIA, LSD, and the 60s Rebellion. How about that?
Okay.
Served as a major inspiration to the early games in the Silent Hill video game franchise.
Yes. Everything is Silent Hill. We've had deep fog here the last 2 weeks. So all I hear from the kids, Miss, did you ever see Silent Hill? I'm like, brother, I was playing that game on God mode before you were even a twinkle in your mama's eye. It was effed up even then.
Grace was playing it, and she wanted to. I guess the new Silent Hill movie is coming out. Return to Silent Hill or Silent.
I always thought it seemed like a great premise, and I think I saw one of the Silent Hill movies, and I deemed it trash and never looked again.
Never seen it. How about that?
No. How about that?
Adrian Lyne turned down directorial duties on The Bonfire of the Vanities so he could direct Jacob's Ladder. And his first choice...
I'm not sure. Somebody could have fixed Bonfire of the Vanities because that wasn't super terrific. Also part of the erotic 80s. They mentioned that.
His first choice for the role of Jacob Singer was Tom Hanks, but by coincidence, Hanks turned it down so he could make Bonfire of the Vanities.
Bonfire of the Vanities. A bad choice for him. I don't see him in this role anyway.
Tim Robbins was 14 when the Vietnam War ended, by the way. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you actually have to have been alive to do a period piece. How many members of Bridgerton were alive during that period?
So obviously, this is kind of all a fever dream. However, if you notice, everything about his fever dream takes place in the late 80s. Like it all is like there's not like 70s cars on the street or anything. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's it. No, I didn't even put that together. Good Lord. When did Vietnam end? 75?
74? Something like that. Thereabouts.
So
Mel Gibson.
Tim Robbins, only like 5 years older than me.
I always talk about how Mel Gibson was in Lethal Weapon in 1986, and he played a Vietnam vet who was trained in... He was like a Marine sniper or special forces or something. Again, He was 15 when the Vietnam War ended. So don't ask no questions.
Well, how old was he in Lethal Weapon?
He was young. He was like in his how old was he?
He wasn't
mid to late 20s. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Good Lord. I thought he was older than that.
Director
That's a
Adrian
rough
Lyne.
20 years.
He ensured that a real chiropractor was on set who would work with actor Danny
it wasn't
Aiello.
just Danny Aiello just cracking, snapping.
According to Lyne, chiropractors often approach him and thank him for going to the trouble of getting what they do exactly right.
Except I've never seen one that actually cured people like that.
My favorite part is Tim Robbins in the hospital with his broken leg in a sling, and Danny Aiello kicks in the door and drags his battered body out of here. I do not want my chiropractor doing that shit. If the emergency room doctor's
it snaps them all back into place.
Ridiculous. This film was greenlit by Paramount Pictures. Adrian Lyne also made Flashdance. And they were talking about how they were unsure if the film could be successful. So they actually, they made it and then didn't release it. It wasn't until later that Carolco Pictures saved it and put it into theaters because they thought it was too weird. So
I can't really remember, but I assume this had a good reception.
Yeah, but it's weird. I could see
It is
if
weird.
it had a good it's weird.
I mean, Victor Victoria's weird too.
It's the exact same thing. I think we can all agree on that. Sidney Lumet, Michael Apted, and Sir Ridley Scott all tried to get this project greenlit during its several-year period of non-production.
Oh,
It wasn't until
wow.
Adrian Lyne stepped up. Let's talk about the cast and crew, shall we?
Let's go.
No, Adrian Lyne was one of the pioneers of the erotic 80s. I'm sure you know. It's all eroticism.
Yes.
Let's see.
There's
Directed
a whole
by,
section dedicated to him.
I'm sure there is. Adrian Lyne was the director. You know him from such things as Jacob's Ladder in 1990, Flashdance in 1983, Indecent Proposal in 1993, and Fatal Attraction in 1987.
Fatal Attraction, that's a good one.
I mean, all of them have some eroticism. Okay.
I mean, Indecent Proposal, let's be straight.
Okay, that does not really.
Come on. And you got Woody Harrelson versus Robert Redford.
Who do you choose?
Who do you choose?
It's a coin flip. Let's see. Tim Robbins played Jacob. You know him from such things as Mystic River in 2003.
That was good.
The Player in 1992.
I feel like that's Robert Altman.
That is Robert Altman. Shawshank Redemption 1994. And of course,
I
The
did
Immortal.
see that.
That's a Oh, did you? There's one. And of course, the immortal classic Howard the Duck in 1986. Good Lord.
He also was in High Infidelity with a terrible gray ponytail. It looks so terrible and fake.
Get your patchouli stank out of my store.
Yes, that's the classic line. Thank you, Cusack.
Elizabeth Pena played Jezzy. You know her from Rush Hour in 1998, Lone Star 1996. She was in La Bamba in 1987 playing Rosie. Do you remember?
I saw La Bamba. No, I saw it at the theater, and that was the last time I saw it. And then I said, don't go to opening night with a bunch of teenagers, because it was just people screaming for Lou Diamond Phillips.
He was a big star back then. The ladies loved little Lou
Dude,
Diamond.
this is the movie. That was the movie that made him the big star.
100%. And again, we have to remind people, Lou Diamond Phillips, not even remotely Hispanic. How about that? Not even remotely.
What would be remotely? What would be like motely Hispanic? Like if you're French, you're close to Spain. What is that?
Well, he's half Filipino. How about that? Is that maybe that's knocking on the door?
The Philippines used to be a territory of Spain, so there could be some.
There you go.
Biz going on.
There you go. Let's see. And she was in The Incredibles in 2004. She was a voice.
I did see The Incredibles.
Let's see. Danny Aiello played Lewis, the chiropractor.
Yeah.
You know him from such things as Do the Right Thing in 1989.
I saw that.
Leon the Professional in 1994.
I feel
Moonstruck.
I saw that too.
Moonstruck, 1987. That's a good one.
I love Moonstruck. Yeah.
Hudson Hawk in
Loretta, I'm
1991.
going to have to ask for my ring back.
I was in a drama class and people were doing like a scene from Moonstruck, and I just remember laughing because
I lost my hand. I lost my bride. Johnny's got his hand. Johnny's got his bride.
It's a thing. Jason Alexander played Geary, the attorney, who first says that he'll help them and then says, no can do. Can't help you.
No can do.
172 episodes of Seinfeld. He was in The Hunchback of Notre Dame in 1996. He was the voice of Hugo. Unfamiliar. He was
Familiar. You're talking about
Philip
the Disney version, right?
Yes, I am. I think I am. He was Philip Stuckey in Pretty
Was it?
Woman. How about that?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen Pretty Woman all the way through. I got a
Really?
Julia Roberts thing and
Oh,
yeah.
please. That's a great movie. Pretty Woman is excellent. Although the original, I saw this thing on Netflix. They talk about it's called like the movies that made us, and one of the movies was Pretty Woman, and that originally it was a dark drama. I think it was called like $7,000 or something was the title of it, and at the end she dies, and Gary Marshall got a hold of it and did some changing. And now it's called.
I want to see the one where it was called $2.50.
Patricia Kalember played Sarah. This was his wife. You know her from Signs in 2002.
I didn't see that.
Rabbit Hole in 2010. I'm unfamiliar.
Unfamiliar.
She was in Limitless in 2011.
No.
She was in Cat's Eye in 1985.
No.
Anything's ringing any bells? I know her
No.
because there was this popular nighttime drama called Sisters in the 90s.
Oh, no,
And there were four sisters.
It must be something else.
Four sisters. It was like Teddy, Georgie. They all had like guys' names. And it was it was Celia Ward, who was a fox of the 90s. It was Julianne Phillips, the former Mrs. Bruce Springsteen. It was Swoosie Kurtz. And then it was her. The person whose name I couldn't remember. I remembered the other three, not Patricia Kalember, which doesn't roll off the tongue. Anybody else you want to know about?
No.
Well, I'm going to do Soul Glow. Eric LaSalle, and I guess he doesn't like people calling him Soul Glow. So if you're listening,
like running up to him in restaurants and just screaming Soul Glow.
Soul Glow. Eric LaSalle was in 172 episodes of ER playing Peter Benton.
Yep.
He was in Coming to America in 1988 playing Daryl Jenks, also called Soul Glow, because he had
I'll take your word for it.
He had a Jerry curl. His family was rich because they invented a formula for Jerry curl called Soul Glow. Just let your soul glow. I once called the student Soul Glow. That was probably not the best move in the world. I laughed. The kid didn't know what the reference was from.
Probably for the best until he went home and told his parents.
They didn't appreciate that.
Then he had to meet with the principal.
He was
racist.
He was in, I said, "Hey, Soul Glow," and like the counselor who was African American looked at me and he started laughing. Yeah, I think that's about it. Shall we talk about the ratings?
Let's go.
Jacob Slatter on Rotten Tomatoes currently has 72% fresh. You know what the audience gave it?
84.
Boom, 84. Look at that.
Boom.
Boom goes the dynamite. Let's look at the top critics, shall we?
Let's go.
Let's see. I've got Gene Siskel from the Chicago Tribune says, Robbins and Pena's scenes together are the highlight of the film. So natural, so bright. That's why we're willing to invest a lot of time in which turned out to be a terribly overwrought plot. 3 out of 4.
Boom.
It's still a 3 out of 4. What a weird thing. Let's see. Janet Maslin of the New York Times says, a slick, riveting, viscerally scary film about what, in other hands, would be a decidedly unsaleable subject, namely death. I guess that's a positive review.
Yeah.
And
and strangely coherent for Janet Maslin.
Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times says, This movie was not a pleasant experience, but it was exhilarating in the sense that I was able to observe filmmakers working at the edge of their abilities and inspirations. 3.5 out of 4.
Is edge of their abilities the same thing as rising to the level of your incompetence? Is that the same thing?
I think that's what we're saying. Let's talk to our in-house movie critic, AI Rex Reed, and see what he has to say.
Let's go, Rexy.
Jacob's Ladder is a pretentious fever dream that confuses shrieking demons and shaky hallucinations for profundity, leaving Tim Robbins to climb a stairway to nowhere in a fog of overcooked symbolism.
All right.
There it is. Thank you very much, AI Rex Reed. But more importantly, Aaron, what is your rating for Jacob's Ladder?
My rating is going to be a little on the strong side because I actually think this is pretty good. I definitely enjoyed it more now than when I saw it originally. I've had time to cook and think and mature.
Fair.
I am going to give it 3 3/4 out of 5. I think it's pretty good.
I don't disagree.
What do you want?
I think I'm going to say the same thing. 3.75. 3.75.
Yeah.
Because we have no rules. You can have any
No.
kind of decimal point or a fraction. I can do what I goddamn want. It's my show. You guys, when you have your
feel
own
like
show.
A 4 I'm going to definitely watch again.
Right.
This was like solid. All right, throw that theory out because Schindler's List was amazing. I'm never going to fucking watch that movie again.
Correct.
Well, throw out that little bit that I threw out there. No, it's really good. It makes you like wonder. You're constantly wondering and thinking. It gets the brain. There are a couple of funky things, but I think it was pretty good. Yeah.
No, I agree. I think there's a lot going on. I guess what it comes down to is its mood, right? This is a mood movie because it's not about the plot because the plot goes all over the place and half the shit doesn't mean anything. So it's much more about kind of just the vibe of the movie. And I agree. It's not quite if you're a 4, and I've said this before, if you're a 4 film, to me, you're in the rotation. You know, I'm gonna hit that, not regularly, but more regularly than once every 30 years. That's for sure.
You're like, oh, it's on. Let's sit down. Let's sit down and watch it.
Get the kids out here and right. We're not doing that for Jacob's Ladder, but I enjoyed it.
The one interesting thing about it, so even though I figured out he's dead,
yep,
that did not take away from my enjoyment because you still want to see how this thing kind of wraps up. You know, with an M. Night, you're like, son of a bitch, because it's gonna wrap up some bullshit way. So it didn't take away. Once I thought, listen to the characters. They always tell you what's going on, and he's dead. But it didn't take away from the story.
I mean,
you still wanted to see what was happening.
I think this plot is so complicated and so labyrinthine, if you will, that it's almost impossible to really know where it's going. You know what I mean?
Because it is, but it isn't a plot. It's a dream. Right. There's like 3. It's like, when you wake up from a dream and then you go back and now the dream's slightly different.
Correct.
So if you don't overanalyze it and just take it as a dream, then it's much less frustrating. You're not going to find secret messages or anything.
Not at all.
Unless Danny Aiello shows up.
He has a neon sign. Message.
Listen to this. What if Danny Aiello is actually one of the doctors operating on him? Because when they see him, there's always a bright light around him.
Right.
You go in and out of consciousness. So he is the angel. So maybe there's something there, but the rest of it, I think, is just a dream. Dream after dream after dream.
I think it's all, well, I don't know if it's a dream, because it could be a case of like he's in kind of purgatory, kind of situation, right?
I thought
Where-
about that too.
You know what I mean? It could
But
be.
you can't go to
in between.
purgatory until you're dead.
I'm
But he's not officially dead to the end.
fair. But I think I don't know if it's just. That's the thing. It could just be brain synapses firing as your life drains away, or it could be demons and angels. Unclear.
Right.
Unclear.
Dan Brown.
Dan Brown, 100%. So, thank you very much.
We just need an albino priest somewhere popping in at the end.
Is that too much to ask? You can find us across social media situation. We are on Blue Sky, Threads. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. You can also watch us on YouTube if you'd like. You can email us the podcast that wouldn't die at Gmail. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere the finer podcasts are available. So don't forget to like, share, rate, and review. Won't you?
Won't you please?
Aaron, what is your social media situation?
I have much media. I am the Cult of Aaron on Instagram. Join the cult. I have artwork on Artsy and First Dibs. Check it out.
Check it out. As you know, we like
Speaking of which, is the
Please.
picture I printed for you in a place of honor, maybe with a spotlight?
It is, actually. It's
Shut up.
I brought it to, look, we were decorating the teacher's lounge and it is sitting in there.
Shut up. Shut up.
It is. People love it. Because they know I'm the only person who would literally bring a photo of myself and place it prominently in the teacher's lounge. That's how I do.
I took a whole bunch of pictures because I didn't have room for them and they're already framed, so I hung them all in the special ed office. Just look at it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. I have lost my train of thought because you knocked me off on my tracks there, Aaron. What are the streets saying on social media, Aaron? What's the latest?
The social media streets are saying that Aaron hasn't posted in a really long time and that she should better get back on that.
I agree. Fair.
I'm
Well,
surprised you haven't called to yell at me.
I was about to. Next week, we're discussing I don't know what it is. I guess it's science fiction. The science fiction classic. It's kind of a noir-y kind of science fiction, though.
I like a little noir.
I thought you might. It's Dark City, starring Rufus Sewell, Kiefer Sutherland,
I do like him.
William Hurt, Jennifer Connelly. It's a bizarre combination. Richard O'Brien,
Dude,
Riff
I
Raff.
love him. Riff Raff is in it? Oh my
He's in
God.
this. It's an all-star cast.
Seawald, he was in, oh my God, what was that? The Philip K. Dick one. Where reimagines that Germany won the war.
The Man in the High Castle, is that what it's called? Something like
Man
that?
in the High Castle. If you have not seen Man in the High Castle, that fucking rip roaring. Forced me to read the book. I was like, Man in the High Castle is an amazing series.
He's also on The Diplomat on Netflix with Kerry Russell, where he's doing an interesting American accent. So you have that to look forward to.
I do not, because first of all, you said Kerry Russell, so sorry.
I always liked him. He often played kind of villainous British characters.
Yes.
For a long time.
Or a Nazi.
Or a Nazi. He's not a villain in this. He's actually the protagonist. So you have that to look forward to. How can you watch Dark City, you ask?
I asked that question.
It's on Tubi with ads, Roku with ads, Fandango at home at ads, Canopy and Plex. Free.
Let me ask you this.
Please.
Is it shitty like Sin City?
It's very different, but I could see where the comparison might be. Because
the word city's in there.
Correct. That's the connection. You can also buy it for $6.99 on Fandango. How about that?
I'm not going to do that.
No, not so much. Anyway.
Not so much.
So, check out Dark City. Send in any favorite scenes, favorite quotes, comments, and questions, and we may talk about it on the show. So, thank you very much, and be well!
Be well!